Oh, I got one more thing.
Let's hear it.
It's kind of more on the Kyrie Irving thing and more of the race thing again. But
Before you continue, I just want to say I love how the topic was Martin Luther King Day, and we ended up talking about fucking fake ass tits and Max getting lip injections. Keep going.
Yeah, I don't even know how that happened. Actually, I kind of blacked out, and we're just talking about tits again. But back to the races. We only talk about race
Martin
and
Luther
tits.
King.
That should be the name of the fucking podcast. Race and tits.
Race and tits.
I like it. I kind of like it.
I was thinking about the back to sports too. Actually, is NFL head coaches. None of them are black. There's actually less than like 5 years ago. Black.
What about the Vikings?
Didn't they just get one on the Falcons?
No, we got we got a black GM, but we got a chinless white dude.
What about the Vikings?
Who his dad was the owner of FedEx. So
my man on the Vikings back in the day, he's not there still.
I swear the Falcons did just get a black head coach, didn't they?
No, we got Arthur Smith. He is the whitest.
Bro, look that up. Look that up. I mean, not Arthur Smith. You talking about the owner? You talking about
Now,
I gotta piss. I'll be back.
Arthur Blank is the owner.
Yeah.
Arthur Smith.
Look it up. I think we just got a fucking black head.
Aaron knows.
I promise you, I know who our new coach is, and I'll show you a picture of him. That's him, the least black guy ever.
Oh, that motherfucker looked damn near retarded.
Yeah, dude, no chin. And I mean, there was like, I'm livid about it. I've never been more upset. His dad owns FedEx.
Wait, so who are the black coaches? There's the Steelers.
Let's see current black NFL. There's been 7 openings. 1 minority has been hired, and it's a Muslim dude. I don't even think they count really. Current Robert Saleh. He looks beautiful. He does not.
He's a beautiful man.
Yeah, he does He
looks like that old Miami defensive player, Jason Taylor or something.
Yeah, like he looks like a fucking Scorpion King or something. You know, like he doesn't. Current black coaches in the NFL. But yeah, I wonder why they don't hire him, even after all this shit going on of like wokeness.
Yeah, because it's
corporate.
easy to be woke theoretically.
Let's see. One of them just got fired. So we actually lost the black head coach and now has not been. 5 of the 7 have been filled.
Yo, I do look like Rambo.
You look great. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Is that it? Do you think it's just they just don't want to hire?
I think there's a lot of racism in football. There's still the thing with quarterbacks that if they're black, they're not smart enough to be quarterbacks. I mean, that's been a fucking thing. I mean, not that.
Yeah.
People don't come out and say it in those fucking words, but I was just reading an article about it where like, oh, we worry about his ability to lead the team. Oh, we worry about his, decision making in the pocket. Oh, no, it's like, it's that.
Now, there could be a situation to where, I don't know, and I don't want to sound fucked up, but maybe like, okay, so you take the NBA, right? You don't have too many white players that's like good at, taking the shit in the paint, dunking and shit like that. Not saying all of them, right? Mm-hmm. But we don't look at it like it's a racist. Like, I mean, maybe it's like that in football. Maybe it's not too many niggas that's really that fire.
No, I think it's different because maybe to an extent, right? And I'd be interested actually to talk about that. Why black people are better at basketball? I think it's an interesting question. But real quick with the football thing, there's a difference between.
And by the way, we didn't even invent the game,
Dr. Naismith. But anyways, I think there's a difference between thinking someone can't be and like, the majority of them aren't, or the majority of quarterbacks are white is different than like if a quarterback from all the data you have to look at looks like he'd be the guy, but he's black, he probably isn't XYZ enough. That's different, right?
Yes,
maybe
I agree with you.
It might even be the fucked up part over the breadth of the country and over the breadth of time results in that, right? And that could be a very real thing at the NFL level. That's still different. So, like, let's say out of all the high schools in America, there's enough high school head coaches that believe like, black people can't be quarterbacks, so there's more white quarterbacks in high school. So there's more white people getting trained to be quarterbacks in high school and then college. Even that would be more real. But that's not exactly what's happening because you have quarterbacks that are finishing college that are like, from all the shit you have to look at, are at that level. And they're like, we really worry about his decision making.
I feel you.
That's different.
Yeah.
See,
facts, I get it.
Quarterback's even a little different because I think it's one of the hardest to do. Even if like so many quarterbacks get picked, they're white and they end up being bad.
Yeah.
I mean, but you see a lot of even like black quarterbacks who end up like doing really well, right? I think that's more progressive in this point than there's 3 black NFL head coaches, and Eric Bieniemy's the offensive coordinator of one of the greatest offenses ever, the Kansas City Chiefs, didn't get a job. There's one just got fired, so now there's 5 of the new coaches are white again. You know, I don't know. It just
I want to say shout out to white folks, you know, in the quarterback realm. I'll give, and I'm gonna go ahead coach as well, because you know, in the same way, man, they be killing it. The top 5 quarterbacks all time, you know, they're just white. I mean, you know, in the same way, like Max was saying, all right, black folks basketball, whatever the case, or if you want to talk about wide receivers or what have you. I don't know. You know, it could be a myriad of reasons why the coach. I mean, one of them could be like, you know, not as athletic, right? So in general, like you know, the more athletic folks in the world are black folks, you know, and so in order to compensate, you got to get on your strategy game if you're a white individual, and so you know the coaches you know, the top coaches weren't the top players. You know, weren't the most athletic players. They're the ones who, you know, even you see this in the NBA, right? You see white coaches, they weren't like the dope ass, like athletic. You know, Akeem Olajuwon's not coaching the fucking Rockets. You feel me? Magic Johnson gave a shot at it. He was trash. Yeah. Isaiah Thomas, beautiful player, trash coach, right? Scott Skiles was a pretty decent coach, though. you feel me? So
Rudy Tomjanovich.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
he got punched.
Yeah, you know, I mean, so a lot of these, they were trash when they played. You know,
Phil Jackson.
Did Van Gundy play?
Pee Wee.
You know what I mean? Like motherfuckers was trash, but Jerry West. They studied the game, and you know.
Jerry West wasn't that trash though, was he? I think Jerry West.
I think Jerry West
he's the logo.
He was good.
He played, but I don't think he's a trash player.
No,
I think. But
at that time there weren't that many.
But I would see it, but it's like they don't even get the shot, which is weird to me in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like for the most part, there's probably about 8 job openings a year in the NFL out of 32.
Coaches,
you know, and like it doesn't seem like.
I feel there's probably some of that, but I also think that there's probably less interest. You know, again, like if you're trying to go on like I'm gonna be the dope player or I'm gonna be the whatever. You know, like you haven't put in that 10,000 hours on like the strategic tip. Like, how can I compensate for the fact that I can't fucking dunk or that I can't? You know what I mean? Like, do some next level moves.
I feel what you're saying.
But you think at the very, very peak, Kyle. Like, wouldn't you say that they're good at all this shit? Like Michael Jordan, for example, was like so good at all this shit, the strategy, the this, the that. Like,
yeah, but then there's other aspects of it that maybe would have made it either more difficult. Maybe he could have been a coach, and he's just like he was above.
I would love to see how Michael Jordan would have been as a coach.
But maybe he's too competitive in his player mentality to be a coach, and you can't like you know.
No,
I don't know.
I didn't mean even him specifically. I just mean like there's enough of the people who are super athletic
who also have the strategy piece. Yeah. But again, I think
there's some component
there's more
there
than just the strategy. There's like strategy. There's like being able to sort of like have the dudes have their own egos and gel and do their thing, working with a star and not be all that weird shit that I think coaches have to be a little bit, you know, in the spotlight at times, out of the spotlight at times. You know, I don't know. I think all the different things that I think that just the white folks have been built better for it.
And it's not as big of a pool, I guess, probably too, is like you have all these white guys trying to get NFL head coaching jobs. It's also very hard to even get in the NFL to begin with, right? To even be in. You can't even buy, you know what I mean? You can be a billionaire and they're not even going to necessarily let you in that crew, you know?
Yeah, and you know, white people, it's okay for white, you know, like in the same way, I mean, I know a lot of times it's like, okay, we have black pride, you know, and we say black folks, are we going to take over the thing? It's because we've come from obviously such dire scenario that you're going to hear more of that, right? Yeah. Come from being held back, etc. But it doesn't mean white folks can't be good at shit, or that white folks can't be better built for a certain situation. You know, you can take pride in the fact that these white and I always enjoy it, man. Like if there's a white player, you know, who's real nice with the threes, you know what I mean, or a quarterback who's just got that next level, you know, like leadership and perception in a different kind of way. You know, he's not scrambling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
that's what I was saying. Maybe it's just one of them situations where it's like. White folks happen to be better at that. Yeah.
It's okay. It's probably invokes more of a selfish thing that Max. I'm upset that we have a weenie, chinless, white, rich coach, and it stresses. But it's just like this guy's dad owns FedEx, and then now he's a head coach. I don't know.
And as black folks, we got to be okay with that too. We got to like let white people shine in certain scenarios. That's the thing. It's part of, I think, growing our own sense of security and self-esteem. Is like we deserve to be here. We win in where we win, and sometimes we don't win in everything, and that's fine too. You know what I mean? That's how I feel.
I don't know, but don't you think the coach shit?
The head coach shit different to me.
That's what feels weird because Eric Bieniemy apparently bombed in his interview. That was the report.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know enough about the head coach.
That's what kind of weirded me out.
Yeah, I don't know about the coaching thing because it's not. That seems to be to me to be made up more of like, you know, your brain and what you do with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like your experiences and your outlook and your decision making, which like is different than like your body thing.
But if your body is next level.
Why the fuck? Why are you going to
put in all the hours to develop
Nick Saban.
Your brain in that way?
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Right.
Nick Saban grew up in fucking like Appalachia, poor as hell. Like
and all he has is that shit.
Bill Belichick the same way. They came from poor ass families. Yeah. They clearly probably weren't as gifted physically to like get into the end of, you know what I mean, to be these like next level athletes.
Yeah.
So they grinded at strategy and
Damn, I wish we had a fucking like a player. I mean, you know what I'm saying, like. A high level player. I mean, it'll be interesting to hear what LeBron, thinks about that because he's.
Let me call him.
Genius. Let me see if he can hit him up, bro.
But it's funny though. LeBron and Michael Jordan are almost so good that they're elevated to ever being like a coach, right? Like they're and even like Tom Brady or Romo, right? They can get like Romo's actually not even, but they can get like
Romo's interesting as hell.
He gets paid all of a sudden now to be like a commentator.
Well, because he did like it once as a guest, and it was like he guessed like the next four. It was wild. Do you guys know about this? So, I mean, Tony Romo is a pretty good had a pretty good career as a fucking quarterback.
He had a really good career.
And then like he had just retired and he did like a guest game for the NFL like as a color commentator. And there was like, I bet he's going to do this, this, and this. And then it happened. And then that happened like 4 times over the course of the game to like a wild degree. It was like, what the fuck? But he's obviously a genius with the game. I mean, he was a quarterback for such a long time, whatever. And now he's like he got those next level jobs as like a commentator, which is dope.
Yeah. And especially if you have some stripes, as a player, I mean, then you get some stripes as a player, but like, obviously like you had to start thinking, maybe I should start, maybe I'll be a commentator or coach after this. You have to start thinking about your after career earlier in your career, right? Because you knew you weren't going to be like making crazy bags off of your, your playing.
So then you just grind on that.
Yeah, I think that's a thing.
Hence High School Dropouts fucking podcast.
Thing. So I don't know. I just was like wondering.
I wish fucking rap was like sports.